I've never been more bullish. I think that all the indicators are very auspicious. If we look at the situation we're in right now, I think there's never been more clarity or differentiation for Bitcoin as the dominant crypto asset than today. I think we've got pretty good clarity and universal consensus that Bitcoin is an asset without an issuer, that it's a global asset, that it is a non-sovereign store of value strategy for someone seeking to escape currency debasement.
MicroStrategy's executive chairman and former chief executive officer, Michael Saylor, has made a noteworthy declaration expressing his heightened bullish stance on Bitcoin. This affirmation carries substantial weight, especially considering Saylor's influential position and the fact that MicroStrategy has already invested over $4 billion in the leading cryptocurrency. This revelation emerged during an interview with Polish journalist and Bitcoin podcaster Natalie Brunell. According to Saylor, the current conditions are uniquely conducive to Bitcoin investment. He points out that a diverse array of players, ranging from U.S. regulators to lawmakers and even presidential candidates, are increasingly discussing how Bitcoin could reshape the financial landscape and the concept of money itself. Saylor also highlights the involvement of BlackRock, a prominent asset management firm, and its CEO, Larry Fink, in the Bitcoin space. Fink's firm has sought approval to offer a spot Bitcoin ETF, and he has been vocal about the international relevance of cryptocurrencies. He discusses the diminishing value of traditional currencies like the dollar over time and emphasizes how Bitcoin's global nature could transcend currency valuations. Fink additionally referred to Bitcoin as digital gold and predicted that tokenizing assets and securities will revolutionize the financial industry. Saylor believes that Fink's influential presence, coupled with other ongoing developments in the crypto space, has intensified his already bullish outlook on Bitcoin.
Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to drop your comment and observations in the comment section below. Thanks and enjoy the video.
I think the fact that Larry Fink, running the world's largest asset manager, vocalized all those ideas on public television of late was a milestone for the space. I think the second milestone for the space is the groundswell of positive sentiment for Bitcoin, both in the form of overall crypto positivity and Bitcoin positivity. The statements by Ron DeSantis emphatically supporting your right to Bitcoin, the statements by Robert F. Kennedy emphatically supporting your right to Bitcoin, the disclosure that Kennedy actually purchased a bunch of Bitcoin for his children publicly is a big step forward. I think the fact you have two other presidential candidates, Mayor Suarez and Ramaswamy, also announcing support for Bitcoin, I think those are really big deals. So that combined with the regulators endorsing it, the CFTC and the SEC, combined with the tone and treatment of mainstream media. If we look at the treatment of Bitcoin in the mainstream media, both across CNBC, Fox, Bloomberg, the Wall Street Journal, the Times, and the like, I think you could see a market rotation of sentiment over the past 2 years, from one of incredulity and suspicion and fear and concern to respect, either a grudging respect or this, or I guess this thing is more than we thought it was. So that sentiment has changed. I think it's pretty clear that there is support for Bitcoin in both parties, in the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, and at the White House level. And I think there's obviously has been universal support for Bitcoin across the crypto ecosystem. And the regulatory developments of the past 6 months, if anything, they've increased uncertainty around everything else in crypto. The crypto exchanges, the cryptocurrencies that are stable coins, the crypto securities, the crypto tokens, the crypto exchanges and DeFi networks. The uncertainty there is still there, if not greater, but they've increased the certainty around Bitcoin. All of the companies, the large financial companies filing for a spot ETF, companies, all the Bitcoin miners continuing to operate, companies like MicroStrategy and asset managers, all of them moving forward with Bitcoin. I think that's been very auspicious.
Another crucial aspect that Michael Saylor identifies as a catalyst for heightened interest and engagement of institutional investors in the Bitcoin sphere revolves around long-awaited alterations proposed by the Financial Accounting Standards Board concerning how corporate entities disclose their cryptocurrency holdings. Earlier this year, FASB introduced a proposal suggesting the assessment of crypto assets at fair value, with any fluctuations acknowledged in net income during each reporting cycle. Presently, crypto assets are treated as indefinite-lived intangible assets, obligating companies like MicroStrategy to appraise their crypto's value annually and make downward adjustments if the holding's worth drops below their purchase price. These adjustments manifest as impairment charges and can translate into significant losses for companies like MicroStrategy, particularly during Bitcoin's downturns. According to Saylor, these impending changes are expected to be a transformative force, with implementation anticipated within a year or sooner. Here are additional segments from Saylor's interview.
I feel like we're at an inflection point. It's a point at which you have the most information to conclude that Bitcoin is a differentiated international asset, store of value, and digital commodity, and unique in the world and useful to the world. You have the most information to conclude that. And yet, the ability of the retail public and the ability of institutions and governments is still largely impaired to act on that. It's very difficult for a retiree with a pension fund to make an investment in Bitcoin. It's very difficult for a large corporation to invest in Bitcoin. It's difficult for a sovereign wealth fund. It's difficult for a government. It's difficult for a hedge fund. And so you have an example where you know where the world is headed. You know what the world needs. Rational people will eventually get there. You also have a list of reasons why it's difficult, right? Why is it difficult? It's difficult because the accounting is indefinite and intangible instead of fair value. So you have a challenge and you have a solution, a process to create fair value accounting with the end of the tunnel clearly in view. If it's not happening by the end of the year, it's happening within 12 months. You have a challenge. I can't buy a spot ETF. You have a solution. You have a host of spot ETF applications. You have a challenge. We need a digital assets exchange to be transparent and regulated. You have a solution, surveillance agreements. Coinbase has already agreed to a surveillance agreement publicly with half a dozen or more of these ETF filers. You have a process. The SEC, the CFTC engaged in bringing exchanges into compliance. So you have all these challenges to action. You have all of these solutions in play. It's really just a matter of which quarter, how many quarters does it take before we put all the solutions in play. When when the rails go in place, then there's a huge amount of capital that will flow against a limited supply. We have a large pool of capital that would love to be in the space, but they can't easily do it without things like Bitcoin securities or spot ETFs. And so that's going to be a big catalyst for demand. And we already know it's coming, and it hasn't come, which means it has not reflected itself fully in the price. Now, on the other side, we have two facts about supply. We know that there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. That's the overarching important first order fact. And the second order fact we have is that there's a halving coming that will cut the supply that the miners have available to sell in half, and that's nearly $5 billion a year worth of supply. And then we have a third order fact. The third order fact is If large institutions can now comfortably own Bitcoin on their balance sheet, they're going to buy it and hold it forever, and the people that hold it now aren't going to want to sell it. So the supply available for sale from existing holders is going to decrease. The supply available for sale from miners is going to decrease. And yet the demand to purchase it will increase.
Michael Saylor isn't the sole optimist regarding Larry Fink and BlackRock's involvement in the cryptocurrency domain. Galaxy Digital's chief executive officer, Mike Novogratz, recently heralded this development as the most significant event for Bitcoin in 2023. Novogratz sees Fink's change of stance as a substantial boon for Bitcoin. In an interview with Bloomberg, he expressed, "I believe the pivotal occurrence in the Bitcoin space this year is Larry Fink." Novogratz further projected that Fink's altered perspective on Bitcoin, coupled with the escalating acceptance of cryptocurrencies, could potentially pave the way for Bitcoin to surpass its record-breaking 2021 peak of $69,000. We welcome your insights on Michael Saylor's interview. Feel free to share your viewpoints and reflections in the comments section below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.